I finally got around to working on the boat for a little bit. Decided to go ahead and string out this electrical. I got that control module, whatever it is, mounted to a bracket that I made using the original one off the jet ski, and then just bolting it to aluminum angle iron, welding it to the boat. So battery box going there. Might get to doing that this weekend. Need to go pick out a battery. But electrical running along. The battery box will be up under that last thing I made, that wire trough. And then essentially what I'm doing is just using a single color wires. I don't have all the colors, obviously. There's 30 of them. And actually it turned out to be 34 because there's the speed sensor wire that's got to go all the way to the front if I mount it and use it. Haven't figured that out yet. But there's also the fuel gauge sensor that's gonna have to go from there all the way back to the housing right here and plug in. So essentially I'm just cutting each one, trying to separate each heat shrink connector to where they're offset so it doesn't add too much to the bulk in one place. And then I just cut all these wires the same length and connected both ends. So this is a 6-pin plug, and I decided to go ahead and use the wire I had, which is American made tinned copper marine grade wire, and it's a little too heavy gauge. It doesn't hurt anything except for it's going to be a larger wire bundle, so might be a little bulky under there, but I already purchased it. I was researching other wire, and it's like when you go look for marine grade tin copper, their sizes don't go down very small in general. You have a hard time finding it. Now you can find it on Amazon, and I can't even pronounce the people's names that make it, but it's obviously a Chinese wire that, I can't remember what exactly it was that made me not want to order it, but the bottom line is I don't really have a good use for this wire otherwise, and being too heavy duty is really not a problem. It's still tin copper. So anyway, I just connected at both ends and pull it straight because those small rolls really curls up on you. Pull it straight, connect it at both ends, and then when you're done, you got a big old nest of curl wire, and then you just bring the strands back, tape them together. And so I'm going to do all of these. There's 30 wires here. I'm going to do all these one at a time, probably individual colors per plug, just for the heck of it, because it really doesn't matter. You're just extending it. You're going to have these colors on both ends. It could all be the same color for the extension. I don't see any disadvantage there. So essentially I'm just going to continue doing that, run it up here, mount it along underneath here, all the way across here. I've already got this partially made up. Just going to go up behind there. And hopefully I get this done this weekend. It'd be nice if I got the battery in as well. It's just been, I don't know if you can see the haze of smoke out there, but we've been socked in with smoke since Tuesday, I believe. It's getting a bit old. I work outdoors mainly, and essentially it's dry eyes, itchy kind of dry eyes. Of course, you're breathing in the smoke all day long. Doing HVAC work and stuff, having to run around and modify HVAC equipment to bring in less smoke into buildings. And I don't know, it's just been a crappy week with all these fires that they're setting. So anyway, that's it for now. Well, here's where it's at. So got all the wire ran. all the way up to the front that needs to be ran. That one cable goes to the back. There's one more to add, actually. It's the speed sensor. Yeah, I'll probably run a couple wires back there. Anyway, just to have it. I'm not even sure I'm going to connect it, but wouldn't be such a bad thing, I guess, in the end. So tomorrow I'm going to tie up this wiring up underneath the dash. The buzzer, the horn, if you will, kind of sitting down there. It's plugged in. It's on an aluminum bracket. It's the only aluminum bracket I found in the whole thing. So I'll probably tack that on the back of the dash, mount the horn there, and then just figure out a system to secure it. The wire covers that I have aren't big enough, so this is 3/4. That extra size wire really added to it, plus all the butt connectors. So I have to get some wire conduit that's a little bigger. Drill holes in the bottom of that to zip tie to, and yeah, won't be too long. Have the electrical tied up. Still got other brackets to work on, like this air box and the fuel vent system, which I'm trying to figure out how to bring up through this top rail back here in the corner or something, because eventually it'll have an engine cover, and fuel needs to vent outside of the boat. So not too concerned until I get ready to cover it, I suppose. It's not that big a deal, when you're out in the open air. But anyway, tackle it again tomorrow. Alright, so I got all the wires in the loom. It's extremely stiff, but these wires are really packed in there. This is the original, and this is representative of, say, 3/4 inch wire cover. Went down to Home Depot, had 1 inch, and it seemed to work. It barely made it around my new loom, especially in the areas where all the butt connectors were. I staggered them as well as I could, and they're pretty even in that. But I'm using that 16 and 18 gauge, and probably more 16 than 18. The original stuff's like 22, probably. Lot smaller wire. But either way, it did turn out it's going to be a little bit big for my trough. If I'd used a smaller wire, I think it would have fit in there just nice and sweet, but it'll be zip tied in there. I decided I'm just going to drill a hole right in the back there where I can slip a zip tie underneath, and a hole here, and just put them every so often and tie them in. It'll be fine. So I believe there was 30 wires coming from back to front, and then 2 more cables. So we had the fuel sensor, which is the black one there. It comes from the dash back, and that's the connector on it, the black one. And then you also have the speed sensor. So speed sensor wire is pretty long, so I ran it all the way back to here, and it wouldn't be enough to actually go out, but I figured that's enough to cut later, and this portion of it with this seal connector, which just come off the jet ski, is enough to go outside and do my thing there. So I just have to extend that cable when and if I decide to use it. So anyway, I did run an extra set of wires back here from the dash that I'm not using at the moment. Those are, may end up being like a bilge pump switch or something like that. If I add any more than that, I'll just figure it out. But at the moment, I'm not looking at stereo system and lights and all that. Although I did go look at batteries today. Battery's gonna go right here. So I'm gonna have to build a box for whatever it is. But I'm just debating on what to use. I mean, originally it's just basically a motorcycle battery, which I'm sure is adequate. But you know, if I do use the Bills pump and I had an issue, it'd be nice to just be able to have some power to run. I suppose if the engine's running, you're good, but if it wasn't, you might want some extra battery for that. Just trying to think ahead. So I was thinking small deep cell here, and maybe put it, you know, just build a frame for a battery box to sit in. You know, essentially, I was just looking at, well, whatever I do, I want to strap the battery down pretty good, so the battery's not even bounce around inside of a box. You know, in the plastic battery boxes, they don't fit perfectly, and the lid strap on them, but there's nothing to really strap the battery in the box. So I guess you just have to fill the extra gap so it didn't bounce around. Something to that effect. So I'm just kind of working on that. Not too concerned about it right at the moment. Obviously, I got to figure it out before too long, but so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, get this all tied up underneath, and I guess move on to some other small thing, because right now, I don't know if you can tell, it's just the smoke's even worse than it's been all week. It just really settled in. This morning it was like, it's hard to tell, it was cold. It got pretty cool last night. It's hard to tell if it was like fog and smoke, but it really didn't lift at all. It might have made it up to 70 today, I don't know. Doesn't seem that warm, but smoke's really keeping the sun from getting through. Otherwise, I know we would have had some warm weather. Because you can see the sun going across the sky behind the smoke. You can sometimes see an outline of it, or just the brightest spot or whatever. But there's been times where you couldn't even tell where it was in the sky, but you knew because of the time. So, but I'll work on small stuff when I can. But the smoke, it may be around for quite a while. So I'm essentially looking at having to probably order up some activated carbon charcoal filters that I'm going to adapt to the furnace in the house. We haven't used that furnace for several years just because we burn wood for heat, and we've got mini splits. And the gas furnace just it's less efficient and just unnecessary. But I was thinking about pulling it out of the closet, but now I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it'll circulate out air to each room and back to the center of the house, which is what we'd need to clean the smoke up. So I'm going to probably be switching gears to that. But I thought, well, as long as I could spend some time on this and make a little bit of progress, it'd be nice. But I don't know, if this smoke hangs around long term, you know, it may be around for a month or two, who knows. We do need a place to get in the house and just get out of it. You know, it's pretty nasty. I spend hours outside, you know, my eyes are drying up. You know, started using the eye drops and stuff. So, and I'm a smoker, so I can handle the smoke, but you know, it's just smoke on top of smoke. So, plus I go to work, I don't have much of a reprieve there. Mostly outdoor work. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. Alright, so I pretty much got the wiring looms done. So that's kind of what it looks like in the back. Basically just got a couple of hangers back here. The sensors that aren't used. I got a magnet to put on that one and possibly that one. And then the speed control for later. No consequence at the moment. And so battery will go there, still working on details. Basically ran along that trough. Got to get a bit for So I can use a right angle drill in here to get to where I can cut the hole further back up here from the top, because my drill won't get that angle. Just add some more zip ties to it. It'll be quick and easy. And essentially, under here, got the steering cable, which is that's the full range. Brought it up over the dash, and then basically this is where all this stuff ended up. Put a couple of these clamps on, pretty solid quarter 20 stainless flathead, and here and here, and basically just kind of tied it all up. Might be something more I can do there, I don't know. Thought about putting a clamp there, but it really wouldn't be doing much. So I just ended up bolting the buzzer up here. So the beeper or whatever it is. So anyway, got most of the electrical done. Just got to deal with the battery and move on.